Brought to you by Penguin.
The Purple Cloud by P Shiel. Read by Clifford Samuel. Introduction by John Sutherland.
Both for ease of listening and because it contains details of the plot, we've placed the introduction to this Penguin classic at the end of the audiobook.
Forward. About 3 months ago, that is to say, toward the end of May of this year of 1900, the writer whose name appears on the title page received as noteworthy a letter and packet of papers as it has been his lot to examine. They came from a very good friend of mine, whose name there is no reason that I should now conceal, Dr. Arthur Lister Brown, M.A. Oxon, F.R.C.P. It happened that for 2 years I had been spending most of my time in France, and as Brown had a Norfolk practice, I had not seen him during my visits to London. Moreover, though our friendship was of the most intimate kind, we were both atrocious correspondents, so that only 2 notes passed between us during those years. Till last May, there reached me the letter and the packet to which I refer. The packet consisted of 4 notebooks, quite crowded throughout with those giddy shapes of Pitman's shorthand, whose ensemble so resembles startled swarms hovering in flighty poses on the wing. They were scribbled in pencil, with little distinction between thick and thin strokes, few vowels, so that their slow deciphering, I can assure the reader, has been no holiday. The letter also was penciled in shorthand, and this letter, together with the second of the notebooks which I have deciphered, it was marked 3, I now publish. I must say, however, that in some 5 instances there will occur sentences rather crutched by my own guesswork, and in 2 instances the characters were so impossibly mystical that I had to abandon the passage with a headache. But all this will be found immaterial to the general narrative. The following is Brown's letter. Dear old Shiel, I have just been lying thinking of you, and wishing that you were here to give one a last squeeze of the hand before I go. For by all appearance, going I am. 4 days ago, I began to feel a soreness in the throat, and passing by old Johnson's surgery at Selbridge, went in and asked him to have a look at me. He muttered something about membranous laryngitis which made me smile, but by the time I reached home I was hoarse and not smiling. Before night I had dyspnea and laryngeal stridor. I at once telegraphed to London for Morgan, and between him and Johnson they have been opening my trachea and burning my inside with chromic acid and a galvanic cautery. The difficulty as to breathing has subsided, and it is wonderful how little I suffer. But I am much too old a hand not to know what's what. The bronchi are involved, too far involved, and as a matter of absolute fact, there isn't any hope. Morgan is still, I believe, fondly dwelling upon the possibility of adding me to his successful tracheotomy statistics. But prognosis was always my strong point, and I say no. The very small consolation of my death will be the beating of a specialist in his own line. So we shall see. I have been arranging some of my affairs this morning and remembered these notebooks. I intended letting you have them months ago, but my habit of putting things off and the fact that the lady was alive, from whom I took down the words, prevented me. Now she is dead, and as a literary man and a student of life, you should be interested, if you can manage to read them.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?